What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is September 10th, 2022. I am JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Saturday afternoons, wherever you may be. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Also, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel, and there is plenty of it. One of the most newsworthy weeks in the history of pro wrestling. Unbelievable. I can't even get over the fact that we had 11,000 plus live viewers between Tuesday and Wednesday, man, for the CM Punk stuff. We had more live viewership this week than we did WrestleMania week. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So if you miss any of the content, go and check that stuff out. And most important, hit that thumbs up. I need 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. Now, I don't want to be here for too long, but I have a major story that deserves my attention and deserves your attention. The Young Bucks. I woke up to a story today about the Young Bucks reportedly sending feelers out about interest from WWE when their AEW deal expires. This is a big one. I'm not saying it's a big one right now, but it's a big one that Tony Khan is going to need to keep a very, very close eye on. Now, we all know Cody Rhodes joined WWE, and it was probably the best career move he could have possibly made. Cody Rhodes has influence in WWE now, with a lot of names that love him and respect him on the AEW side of things. We all know what Cody Rhodes and WWE are going to do. And at the end of the day, they're going to try and sway some of that talent that he is very high on and talent that he was high on there to jump ship potentially to join this new Triple H-led WWE. At the end of all of it, he may have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega join him in WWE. Again, I must reiterate, this is not something that needs our attention now. But as the months go on, it's going to be something that we're going to need to pay attention to. And if it happens, it's not going to happen until at least 2024. The Wrestling Observer's Ryan Frederick stated on the Wrestling Observer message boards that the Young Bucks sent feelers out through a WWE talent. It should be noted that this is something that a lot of wrestlers do, and there are no indications that Matt and Nick Jackson want to leave AEW. Frederick said this in response to someone on the board who falsely claimed that Matt and Nick Jackson signed new AEW deals. And he says, and I quote, "They didn't sign new deals. Their options were picked up. They did reach out to a talent to send feelers that they would be interested in talking about coming in when their deals are up. Who this talent is, I don't know. Take your pick. It could be KO, Kevin Owens. It could be Sami Zayn. It could be AJ Styles. They got friends in WWE. That is not a secret. They did reach out to a talent to send feelers that they would be interested in talking about coming in when their deals are up. But everyone on both sides are going to do the same because you want to look for the best deal. Anyone who doesn't do so is dumb and possibly leaving money on the table." Later in the thread, Frederick said, and I quote, "They reached out to a talent to send feelers about coming in. I can't say they talked to anyone directly in WWE, but that would fall under tampering, and this came at the same time the legal letters were being sent about tampering. Tony Khan had a big problem with Triple H and talent relations. Not Triple H per se, but talent relations. He was ahead of talent relations there before he gave it up to somebody else who just took the position this week. They, I guess, promoted Triple H to content, vice president of content distribution or something like that. I'll go over that tomorrow. But Triple H, while he was filling in as head of talent relations, sent his department to go tamper with AEW contracts. I'm assuming with those that Vince fired that joined AEW, they were Triple H guys, and Triple H wanted to send feelers out there about potentially jumping ship back to WWE because, hey, I'm in charge now. Vince is not here. We'll do things a little bit differently, man. I want you back. It doesn't work that way. So Tony Khan got upset about this, and he sent legal letters to WWE. So the Bucks wouldn't be that stupid to go and do that on WWE side of things after Tony Khan just sent, legal letters to WWE about not tampering with their talent. So I can't confirm they actually talked to WWE people themselves, says Frederick, but they talked to other WWE talent about coming on in, which they can do, much like WWE talent can send feelers through AEW talent, which has happened and happens all the time on both sides. It's not something they wouldn't have done anyways, since their deals are coming up at the end of 2024. And you want to maximize your leverage when it comes to getting a new deal and the company's into a bidding war. It's not necessarily a sign that they're going to leave. Everyone should do this. The hard thing with wrestler contracts, and another reason they aren't independent contractors, is that you can't even negotiate new deals until their old deals are done. It's not like they can have one deal end on December 31 and show up to their new job on January 1. Unless they strike a deal in the first few hours on the 1st. But generally, the only way that happens is if there's indirect talks beforehand, much like this situation. Wrestler contracts really should be more like NASCAR contracts. There was a situation there a couple of months ago where a driver, Tyler Reddick, signed with a new team for 2024 and beyond, despite his contract with his current team ending in 2023. However, because he's an independent contractor, like all NASCAR drivers are classified, he's free to negotiate to start another job when his current contract ends at any point. The Young Bucks are friends with several people in the company, so it shouldn't be hard for Matt and Nick Jackson to get in touch with anybody in management when it's legally allowed for them to do so. Last month, in response to a fan question about possibly teaming with the Young Bucks, again, AJ Styles said that he misses his friends and they should come to WWE. The Young Bucks responded, "We miss you too, AJ Styles," end quote. Now, the Young Bucks had talks with WWE back in 2018, early 2019, but obviously this was weeks before the launch of AEW. It was very well known that all of the Elite sat down with Triple H, but a deal could not be met between both sides. This is going to be a very, very interesting situation to see develop. And it's going to be a very interesting situation from the fans' point of view to see develop over the next several months as we get closer to everybody's contract coming to an end. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega have contracts up around the same time. So you may be getting a 3-for-1 here if you're Triple H. Triple H is licking his lips right now at this news because if there is any interest from the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to jump ship, you can guarantee it that Triple H is going to open the WWE bank account and pay these guys whatever the fuck they want to join him, to join Cody, and really put the knife in the back of AEW and end it, or try to at least end it once and for all. This is on the mind of Triple H right now. He's looking at this and he's licking his lips. What did I tell you a couple of weeks ago? Triple H is the dragon. He's Smaug in the middle of the fucking mountain. He's buried underneath all that money. He's waiting to be awakened. Fucking Tony Khan here is Bilbo Baggins pointing at the fucking dragon, basically wanting to awaken. He's in there looking for the Arkenstone. You don't want to go looking for no fucking Arkenstone with Triple H, a fire-breathing dragon, ready to tear you to shreds. Triple H is then going to play with Tony Khan. He's going to fucking play around with him because he knows he's got him by the balls. And when he is ready and he gets pissed enough, he's going to break through that mountain, find the nearest town, pillage and burn every last fucking piece of that town until there's nobody left alive. That is Triple H. This is that moment. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Everybody wants to jump ship. Triple H is in charge. Everybody loves Paul Levesque. Things are going to be done differently. Vince McMahon's not there. It's a brand new fucking day in WWE. If the Young Bucks are interested in joining WWE, what the fuck does that say about the goddamn company? Now, they got their own problems. Everything you read, they're political as political can be. They think it's their show, and everybody else takes a back seat. They usually go to bat for themselves and nobody else, and blah, blah, blah. You hear all these stories about how they've done business over the years. You hear all these different stories about their power in the company and how it's unfair and how they rub people the wrong way. That's why Cody Rhodes left and joined WWE. He couldn't be a part of that anymore. I don't know. But the one thing I will say here as far as this, if this is being reported after the CM Punk incident at All Out's media scrum, there is absolutely fuel to that fire. And this is going to be Tony Khan's mess to clean up because he's basically started it. And what I mean by that is that he didn't do anything. If you guys hear a leaf blower, it's the fucking neighbors getting their lawn done. This is Tony Khan's mess to clean up because he sat there at that media scrum and did nothing. He allowed CM Punk, which, by the way, we will go over tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. to talk about everything that I got brand new news on CM Punk and the media scrum. This apparently was planned by Punk weeks ago to pick on Nick Houseman because he knew Houseman was going to be there. He wasn't even asked a question. And he went on about Colt Cabana, and then it led into everything else. And Tony Khan just sat there, did nothing. Didn't pull him to the side. Didn't say, Phil, let's move on to something else. Let's talk about that great match with John Moxley. Let's talk about MJF, the reaction, the title match coming up. He's the number one contender. Blah, 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 blah. He didn't pull him aside. He didn't deviate away from the conversation. He gave you every facial reaction and every human emotion one could fucking do in that moment. From fear and desperation to fucking shock and surprise, sadness, happiness. He went through every fucking emotion. He didn't cut his microphone off. This is Tony Khan's mess to fix now because he did nothing. What Tony Khan did during that media scrum is nothing. He basically told you without telling you whose side he's on. He's on the side of Phil Brooks. He's siding with CM Punk over the Elite. That's how I interpreted it. Yeah, everybody's at fault. Paige is kind of at fault. I could see why people are upset at Paige. He went into business for himself. He should have been reprimanded about that. Obviously, Punk and the ego he has, he wanted to get back at Paige. The Bucks, obviously, spreading rumors to the dirt sheets about Colt Cabana, throwing Punk under the bus. Egos clash, which led to this fucking scrum and CM Punk burying everybody. Tony Khan not doing anything. This was a complete fucking mess. Tony Khan basically chose sides without actually saying whose side he's on. His silence was in favor of CM Punk because he allowed Punk to bury the heart and soul, the people that he went into business with to start AEW. Without the Bucks, Omega, Cody, and Hangman, there is no AEW. It's not even a thought. It's not. So I don't understand why everybody's looking at this and not pinpointing this as the main reason why we are reading this story today. It is Tony Khan's fault. He did nothing. How do you feel if you're the Young Bucks? You feel betrayed. You feel this guy is choosing Punk over us. He values Punk more so over us. We're the heart and soul of this company. They may want to get back and say, you know what? Let me see you run this fucking place. Let me see you continue being elite without the elite. By the time Punk is finished, we could still be here. But you want to choose sides. So you live with the devil that you created. The devil that you brought in here. And there were a lot of people saying, don't do it. Don't bring him in. WWE even said, he'll be your headache now. That is going to be a legit game-changing decision. This next few months, couple of months, Punk is out with injury for 9 months. We don't even know if he would have been stripped of the title. I don't know what Tony Khan's decision would be. Right now, we're all looking at this from the outside looking in. 9 months, he had no choice but to strip him of the championships. Would that have happened if Punk was not hurt and 100% healthy coming of that match with Moxley? Would he have been stripped of the title? I don't know. We may never know. So Tony Khan has an easy out. Out for 9 months, I got to take the title off you. So he stripped Punk, he stripped the Elite, he punished everybody, suspended 7 people for their involvement in it. Apparently MJF's a part of it. Now he'll be a part of the internal investigation as an outside party. It's a fucking mess. An absolute disaster was this entire weekend. But if you're the Young Bucks, why not see if there's interest in WWE? Why not? This is going to be something that is going to be detrimental to the future of AEW. If Kenny Omega and the Elite leave, Cody Rhodes was one thing. Cody Rhodes is a very influential figure. WWE loved the fact that they swayed away one of the EVPs from the competition. If they can sway away another 3 EVPs for them to join the WWE, that is the end of AEW. Tony Khan does not want the Elite to join AEW. What does that say about AEW when your founding fucking fathers leave? It's not going to be a good look And it all stems from management. If proper management was in place, the fucking egos of the Young Bucks would have been kept in check. CM Punk's ego would have been kept in check. Instead, we have Tony Khan, who I appreciate to no end, being a fucking mark and sitting there doing nothing, saying nothing. You want him to go and be a leader. Instead, he's ended up being a fucking mark for the business and being a super fan of all the, like he's fucking some child with toys that he's got at his disposal. You want the Elite to go to WWE. That's what it's boiling down to. Triple H is going to open up his checkbook and pay these guys whatever the fuck they want because he wants to kill AEW. Tony Khan knows this. Now it's Tony Khan's job to fix this. And who's to say if the Elite leaves, that's all the locker room needs. You already possibly have a Wardlow thinking about his future. Do I stay or do I go? A Jade Cargill, do I stay or do I go? Do I stay or do I go if I'm MJF? Or John Moxley? Or Chris Jericho? How many people at the end of this is Tony Khan going to have backing him if the fucking Elite leave? Cody Rhodes is one thing. But if the Elite leaves, we may see the end of AEW. We may see the beginnings of the end of AEW. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. I don't know what we do here. I really don't. And another thing I want to add before I get the hell out of here, the Young Bucks going to WWE, it may be a great idea, which I would find funny. All the trolls online, they hate the Young Bucks, but they love to see them in the WWE. Give me a fucking break. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's really going to be an eye-opening experience for the IWC if you're a part of the community. All the hate that they've gotten now, they'll be welcome to WWE because they are with the good guys, right? And they're not a part of that fucking indie super show, AEW. It's going to be a shit show. No matter what happens, it's going to be a shit show. The thing with the Young Bucks is, if they all end up going to WWE, you don't think Triple H keeps an eye on everything that's going on? You don't think Triple H has people or he himself with an ear close to the ground about the attitude of the Bucks and the attitude of Omega and how all this shit happened, over the weekend and how detrimental it was to the fucking environment backstage? You don't think management in WWE is keeping an eye on all this and knows the rumors and the speculation and all the fucking, innuendo about the Bucks and how they do business and their egos and the political bullshit and everything about them, all the stories? You don't think Triple H knows about that? They're EVPs now. Their power, obviously, when they come back, is going to be less than what it was. CM Punk's power is going to be less than what it was. Tony Khan has to assert himself as a boss. He's got a couple of years to fix this shit before everybody's contract's up. So if they go back to AEW when their suspension's over, their power is going to be limited. You think they're going to have that same power in WWE? They're not going to have that same power in WWE. They will be like everybody else. But instead, they'll be on a shorter leash than everybody else because of the way that they've acted on this weekend specifically. And that's going to be held over their heads for a very long time. They will be looked at as outsiders coming into a WWE locker room. They're made men. They're self-made men. Now they're joining the big machine, the big WWE machine. You think they're going to be welcomed with open arms after what they did this weekend? You think they're going to be welcomed with open arms? Yeah, let's get the Young Bucks at the top of the card. Let's give them tag team championships and feud them with the Usos and all this other shit right away. I don't think so. If I'm Triple H, I'm not doing that. Trust needs to be gained after what had happened this weekend. A long time it will happen to possibly develop that trust. It may never happen where they develop that trust. You think they're just going to waltz on in there and be given, hey, guys, welcome to our family? No. There's going to be a rough patch of tough love there joining the WWE. The money will be made. And this is something the Young Bucks are going to have to think about. The money will be there. But are WWE going to want to bring them in because they genuinely want the Young Bucks? Do they want Matt and Nick Jackson? Do they want Kenny Omega? I'm sure there's a little want there. But really, if you think about it, the want there is not for them. The want there is to kill AEW and end AEW. That's what it's all about. And through Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, and Kenny Omega, that will be the nail in the coffin. Or basically, what's a better analogy? It will be one foot in the grave. Because with Cody, Matt, Nick, Kenny, who's to say Hangman doesn't join the Young Bucks? You think they want to do shit separately and not as a family? They want to all they were in it together. They want to end it together. They may be the beginning of AEW and they may be the end of AEW. Hangman may join them. All of the elite may be gone from AEW. Who the fuck knows what their mindset is? If you did something together to start something, don't you want to continue doing it together as a family? This is a bad situation. And the fact that this came out right after the scrum and we're hearing this news now, I don't find that to be coincidental at all. There is absolutely fuel to this fire. Again, not something to worry about now. Tony Khan's got a couple years and time is dwindling away. This is his problem to fix. And if he doesn't fix it, he may be the end of AEW. Management needs to be instilled. We need people backstage to bring that environment back to the way it was in year 1, year 2, where there was excitement and happiness and fucking hope for change. Now you ended up being like everything else that was Vince McMahon, and now you've adopted that in your locker room. And nobody wants that. They left one place to join this to be different, for change. And now they join this locker room coming over from where they were, and it's the same fucking shit. And now they see the locker room on the other side being exactly what they want with the guy that they love in charge. It needs to be fixed immediately, or Tony Khan is going to be the end of AEW. That's all I got for you guys today. I will go over everything else. All the other news that you might have missed this week, I will talk about it tomorrow. We'll be live 8 p.m. on YouTube, Off the Script 443. Make sure you guys join me on Sunday night. Hit that thumbs up, 1,000 likes minimum on today's extra. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoons into your Saturday nights, and I'll see you back Sunday night live for episode 443 on Off the Script.